This is the equipment you will need for a colon or EGD scope hookup for the Scope Buddy Plus. Today we are going to do the step-by-step guide for Scope Buddy Plus use. Remove old pump tubing, multi-use hookups, and the detergent out tubing. Discard this tubing into the regular waste bin. Tubing is good for 24 hours. When you come in during the overnight, the tubing that is there can be used. When you come in the morning, discard old tubing. Retrieve new tubing. Remove from manufacturer's packaging. Inspect for cracks or damages. Discard if damaged. Ensure temperature probe and detergent tube are connected. Turn on Scope Buddy. It'll take a few moments for your Scope Buddy to warm up. Press screen to activate Scope Buddy. Select automatic mode. Fill sink to 5-gallon mark. While filling your sink, you can go ahead and hook up your Scope Buddy. Verify the arrows for your flow direction are going the right way. And screw in your adapter. Put in user ID. This will be dependent on whether it's a nurse or a tech. Put in Scope ID. Dose sink to appropriate amount of detergent. If your temperature probes are not at the correct temperature, you will not be able to clean your scope. You can add hot or cold water until you reach the desired temperature on the screen. It'll take a few moments for your temperatures to regulate. Then proceed. Dose sink. Grab your scope after it has already passed the Vera scan and manually brush your scope. Attach proper Scope Buddy hookups.
Connect the pump tubing. Screw on the auxiliary water inlet. Put the suction tubing onto the suction connector. Air probe tubing onto the air pipe. Put the nugget or air water supply connector onto the scope. Attach the channel plug to the scope but leave the biopsy port off. Close all clamps.
Channel plugs and air water cap, also known as nugget for us.
Close all clamps for aspiration.
Press the orange button to say brushing was complete. Set up for aspiration. Close the proper clamps and remove the strainer and biopsy cap. Press play. Set up endoscope for flushing.
For flushing, open both clamps and put biopsy cap back on.
Open clamps, put back on strainer and biopsy cap. Flush with detergent per manufacturer's recommendation time. 1 minute, 35 seconds. Press play. Visually verify the solution is exiting the end of the scope. If it fails to exit the end of the scope, recheck your connections. If the fluid still fails to exit the end of the scope, contact a supervisor. Purge the endoscope. Lift the strainer out of the fluid, drain the sink, and press play. Move the scope and scope buddy lines to the rinse sink. Set up scope for rinsing per manufacturer's recommended time and press play. Visually verify the solution is exiting the end of the scope. If fluid fails to exit the end of the scope, check all connections. If the fluid still fails to exit the end of the scope, contact a supervisor. Purge the endoscope. Lift the strainer out of the fluid, drain the sink, and press play. Unhook scope from Scope Buddy. Attach proper Medivator hookups. Please remember, these tubings can be used for the next scope, and hookup is again good for 24 hours. These pieces are also removed and used for next scope. Put scope in Medivator for cleaning. If you have any questions today in regards to the step-by-step guides for Scope Buddy Plus cleaning, please find either your supervisor or one of the nurse educators. Thank you very much. Have a great day.